All right, let's get into it. Today, we're tearing down the story of Mandy M. Roth's paranormal romance, Bat Out of Hell. We're talking about a world where you've got ancient vampires, super secret government agencies, and a fated love story that literally starts with a bang. So, think about this for a second. This question, it is the absolute core of our story. It's all about a world where the secrets you bury and the past you can't remember, well, they're the only things that can keep you alive. Let's see how that works out for a heroine. And that's where we'll start. Our way into this crazy world is through a young woman who, on the surface, seems totally normal. But trust me, she is anything but. So meet Isabel Gilbert. She's a grad student, a ridiculously talented hacker who loves to mess with the local police databases just for fun, and she's an orphan. Oh, and she's had this lifelong obsession with vampires, right alongside her very, very secret ability to create fire with her mind. You know, casual. And we're not talking about some little party trick here. Her power is huge, it's terrifying, and it's a secret she only shares with her two best friends, Liberty and Daisy, who, by the way, have their own incredible powers. They're a tight-knit trio, completely bound by these secrets and a trauma they all share. And that trauma all goes back to one single terrifying event. 10 years ago, the group home they all lived in burned to the ground. Isabel got out, but the fire basically left a giant black hole in her memory. And that mystery, it's shaped her entire life, pushing her to use those hacking skills to desperately search for answers. Okay, so let's flip the coin. We're going to leave our modern-day grad student for a minute and step into the shadows to meet an ancient warrior who has a story of his own. This is Special Operative Blaise Regnier. And yep, you are reading that number right. He is nearly 600 years old, a seriously powerful vampire who has seen it all and carries his own deep, personal darkness. Now, Blaise isn't some rogue vampire. He works for PSIO. The best way to think of it is like a supernatural CIA. This is an agency filled with vampires, shifters, you name it, and they're all fighting this secret war to protect humanity from an enemy trying to build a master race of paranormal super soldiers. And this is where their pasts crash into each other without them even knowing it. Decades ago, Blaise lost children he was protecting in a fire. Then, 10 years before our story starts, he investigated the exact same fire that haunts Isabel. And in the ashes, he found one single clue: her vampire-themed charm bracelet with absolutely no idea who it belonged to. Okay, so all the pieces are on the board, right? Well, now it's time for their worlds to just smash into each other. And this collision is about as subtle as a runaway train. So picture this. Isabel is working late when she gets ambushed in the university computer lab. Her attackers are not human. They have fangs, and they're part of that same enemy force PSIOps is fighting. She's forced to unleash her pyrokinesis, her fire powers, just to survive, turning several of them into ash. Suddenly, her worst fears are real. The monsters are real, and they are hunting her. Her first thought? Her friends. She's terrified they're next, so she jumps in her beloved 1950 Mercury, a car she calls Elvira, and floors it home. But what she finds is a war zone. The street is covered in bodies, and her house is surrounded by a team of heavily armed operatives in black, tactical gear. She has no idea who's who. She just sees chaos and assumes her friends are in danger inside. Her protective instinct completely takes over. She spots a tall, imposing figure in the middle of it all. That's Blaise, and she assumes he's the enemy. So, without a second thought, she slams her foot on the gas and drives her classic car right into him. So, after that pretty terrible first meeting, the story pivots. We go from all that external action, the explosions and the fighting, to a kind of internal explosion, this immediate supernatural connection that neither of them can possibly control or deny. And that brings us to the absolute heart of the romance here, the concept of being mated. Now, this isn't just, being attracted to someone. In this world, it's a supernatural destiny. It's such a popular trope because it raises the stakes to 1,000 instantly. The second they meet, their souls basically scream, "Oh, there you are." They're literally made for each other. And this bond isn't just some warm, fuzzy feeling. It has immediate, high-stakes consequences. First, there's that instant recognition, this magnetic pull. Then comes this overwhelming, primal need to protect each other, even from themselves. And finally, you get the claiming, a physical union that basically makes them husband and wife under supernatural law, whether they met 5 minutes ago or 500 years ago. So, now everything is out in the open. And both Isabel and Blaise have to somehow deal with the fallout of their crazy meeting and this shocking new reality of their now completely intertwined lives. I mean, look at this. Their lives are just these perfect, tragic mirror images of each other, right down to the fires that define them and the one charm bracelet that connects them. But here's the real bombshell. This wasn't all just fate. The same enemy Blaise has been fighting for decades, those scientists trying to build a master race, they literally engineered Isabel to be his perfect mate. And that charm bracelet, the one he's been holding on to for a decade, the only clue he had from that fire, yeah, it was hers. He's been carrying around a piece of his soulmate for 10 years and had absolutely no idea. And after their connection is physically finalized, Blaise makes their new reality crystal clear. There's no dating period, there's no negotiation. In the supernatural world, this bond is absolute. He's claimed her, she's claimed him, and that's that. Which really brings us right back to the central, chaotic, and kind of amazing conflict of Bat Out of Hell. It's a story that asks what happens when destiny and free will collide at 60 miles per hour, and you have to somehow build a future with the soulmate you just met by, well, running him over. And that right there is the beautifully messy heart of this paranormal romance.